Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to the comedy extravaganza that is The Adventures of E. Strap yourselves in because in this podcast we dive into hilarious personal stories, mishaps, and everyday life. From the awkward encounters at the grocery store to trying to adult in a world that seems determined to trip us up at every turn. So whether you're listening during your commute or just kicking back with a cup of coffee, get ready to laugh until your sides hurt. Here's your host, Elissa.
I'm the captain of the ship now. I said that one time to Shannon. It got real weird real quick. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of The Adventures of E. With me tonight, I have my trusty co-host,
Jason.
And my best friend,
Lacey.
Whose straight up awkward paws are out.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's all right.
But
You'll get used to it. It'll just all fade away before long.
just shh, let it happen.
Yeah, shh.
That escalated quickly. Oh, you're gross.
Let it happen.
I'll stab you. I'm not even afraid.
You're like a bunch of fucking toddlers running around here.
We kind of are.
Yeah.
A little bit. Let on the loose.
A little bit.
A little
Let
bit.
on the loose.
Let on the loose. But yeah, I'm a hot mess, as always.
Yeah.
Lacey just got like super awkward and was like, I don't want to be on a camera. And I was like, well, suck it up, Buttercup. That's what's happening.
Yeah, she made me.
Yeah. Yeah. She tends to do that, like making you a friend.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We will be friends.
Forcing you.
Yeah.
For sure.
You will love me.
It's true.
It is accurate, 100%.
Yep. So.
But, you know, that's life.
All right, so we're gonna put you on the spot, Lacey.
She's already awkward AF.
In a previous episode, we had talked about like weird facts about ourselves.
Yeah.
So we figured we would pawn that off on you and see if there's a super weird fact about yourself that you want to share that maybe nobody knows.
Actually, I just said it to her. I have a freckle on the top back of each ear.
And so I said, how do you know that? Because that's super random. And she was like, people have been standing behind me and have told me. And I said, and then how did you verify? And she goes, I took my ears and I bit them over like this. And I was like, oh, so super scientific is what you're telling me. And she was like, yeah, pretty much.
It's all about the angle. Just the angle. Just fold it over.
Yeah.
You're going to do it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to.
Yeah, even though we don't have a mirror in here. Okay.
This is what happened.
What had happened was...
She was straight up going to show you. It was hilarious. Excuse me. But
So,
no.
Yeah.
That's our super weird fun fact.
That's like an easy, weird, random fact.
Well, don't put her on the spot like that. She got real awkward and uncomfortable. And T-Rex armed it.
T-Rex did.
A little bit.
So Lacey and I worked together a shift here recently, and we were talking at the job, and I was like, listen, I told my mom and Jason that you're my backup, like, retirement plan. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, I already told him, like, you better warn your kids. They're taking care of me, too. I said, we're going to have a whole Grey Garden situation. She said, yeah, we are.
So I'm just going to say this. I have no idea what the hell a Grey Garden situation is.
Okay. So it's actually quite interesting. Have you watched it?
No.
Yeah, educate me. I want to learn.
You really don't know what it is either?
I mean, I know what it is, but I haven't, researched it or watched or read anything about it.
Okay. Well, bear with me because some of my facts may be off because I didn't anticipate, telling this story tonight, obviously.
Don't Wikipedia fact checker.
No, please don't. Just bear with me. So, Big Edie and Little Edie Bouvier, cousins to Jackie Kennedy Onassis.
Okay.
Her dad was very wealthy. He sent them off to live in their Hamptons home, which is known as Grey Gardens.
Okay.
He ended up divorcing Big Edie.
Big 80.
Yeah. And basically...
Like Big Perm, Big Worm?
I don't know. That's just what their names were, okay?
I know. I'm just... God, take a joke.
No, I'm just trying to get through it. I'm
Okay,
really
sorry.
trying.
Sorry.
And you're really messing with me.
Sorry. I'll shut up now.
Thank you. So anyway, He eventually cut off all like support. He divorced her,
Mm-hmm.
married a younger woman, was paying her support, eventually cut that off. They squandered away their trust funds, and basically in the 60s, I believe, were found to be living basically in a condemned home in the Hamptons,
Okay.
living in squalor and feces and like no electricity and things like that. They had a whole documentary done about him. It was very interesting. At
And this is where you're going to end up?
at that point, Jackie, no.
Oh, okay.
But yes, but no. Jackie Kennedy Onassis stepped in and rehabbed the home and everything. And then eventually Big Edie passed away, unfortunately, and little Edie moved back to the city. And that was the end of that. But what I'm saying is just a fucked up, codependent relationship if everybody else is gone.
Okay, because I was a little concerned that you were talking about living in feces and like a condemned
No.
home. Like, I just wanted to make sure I knew where your head was at.
It
That's
was-
all.
It was really more so a joke because they were very eccentric too.
Well, I mean that works.
That fits. That sticks. Yep.
Yep.
If
You
it
don't-
fits, it sticks.
You don't have to throw that one against a wall. It will stick.
Yeah, that's accurate. But anyway, that's just my joke. I guess
Gotcha.
it's not really that funny.
Well, no, it is funny.
Now that I lay it out,
I was just trying to
it's a little
understand it.
morbid, isn't it? Whoa.
Well, I mean, what else is? I mean, the whole thing, the whole concept is morbid because I'll be dead, and Mom will be dead, so you'll be by yourself with 3 dogs.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
I know.
Let's not do any of
Not so
that.
much us being dead, but having to be with all 3 dogs.
No, all of it. Let's not do any of it. No,
Right.
thank you.
Yeah, I don't want the dogs.
I don't either. No.
You're a cat person.
Yes,
Yes, somebody.
I
Yes,
love the dogs, but I get to leave them here.
Right.
They're like
It's
nieces
like
and
grandkids.
nephews.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I can
Nieces,
leave them here and I
nephews.
can
Yep.
leave. Bye.
Exactly.
Here, let me give you treats and get out of here.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I also like kind of second guessed I stopped myself. I was gonna give Lila a ravioli, and I was like, they'll kick my ass.
Yes, I would have. Because then she would have had raging diarrhea later, and she's already.
Kind of like me. We would have been twinning.
Here we are, folks. You now know way too much about our lives yet again. Another episode.
It's part of getting older.
Check mark
It's
that
true.
off the box
Part of
today.
getting older. Some days it's constipation, other days it's diarrhea. There is no in
Man,
between.
It really does suck getting old, though.
Yeah.
It does.
It does. Listen, I now pee a little bit every time I like really cough hard. I'm like, what is this? What is this? I'm like, Mom, I may have to start buying period underwear just for like if I get the flu or something and I'm coughing and hacking and I can't hold it.
A little bit, it depends.
I don't need the Dollar General situation all over again.
Well, I was talking to some of the kids at work because I work with a bunch of freaking kids, and
Yeah, children.
they're like,
They're less than
Well, when
25
I-
years old. They're children to
Right.
us now.
You know, working
oh,
in-
we've become those people.
working an overnight 12-hour shift. Well, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna take a shower and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, I'm gonna go home and die.
Yeah.
She goes, that's what she said. And I looked at her and I said, I'm going to go home and rot. And
Yeah.
I said, that's what I'm looking forward to. But when I got home, that's not what happened.
Well, you didn't even go home first.
No, I went to Lacey's for a while.
Right. You partied it up.
Oh, yeah. We were really living our best life over there.
Right?
We sat there and just, we
Hashed
went
out
over-
some childhood trauma.
Yeah, that's what we did, actually.
Okay.
And some parenting
Yeah.
of, man children.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
That's really what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, elaborate on the parenting of man children. I'm curious on this one.
I'm going to give you the shortest synopsis because, we don't want to go into particulars.
Right.
But her man-child
Mhm.
came to her and basically said, hey, I drank one night.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't drive.
Mhm.
He had a friend who was sober drive, but he wanted to come clean and be honest with her. And she was like, that hurt my heart, obviously, because that's her baby. But at the same time, I'm like, you should be so proud that he was adult enough that he felt like he could come to you and be honest about that.
Yeah.
Which she was super proud of that. And I was super proud of her for acknowledging that. But we were just talking about writing that line of being parents and friends to a certain extent.
Well, what I am trying to keep in check for myself is not having an emotional response
Right.
to something that they're trying to like tell me about themselves or tell me that they're going through and stuff like that. It's not about me right now. It's about you. Why did you do this?
Right.
What's going on with you that you did this? Instead of me projecting how I feel about what you did. Like, we can talk about it and you know, there are going to be consequences, but like, I'm proud of you for coming to me, but I want to know why you did it.
Right. Right.
So we can work on that.
Stepping back and taking that calculated response and
Mm-hmm.
truly trying to understand everything behind it and not having that emotional response. That's something that you and I dealt with our man child.
Yes, for a long time.
You know.
And that's why I think like Lacey comes to me about those conversations too, is because I'm right ahead of her. I've just been through that.
Right.
Like, I get it. If anybody gets it, I truly do
Mhm.
too. And that's why I told her, I said, I'm super proud of both of you. Like, that was big of both of you on both your sides. And I truly do get that. Because, like, you're proud that they were adult enough to come and tell you when they didn't have to.
Right.
But you kind of wish, hey, I wish you had called me and said, hey, Mom, I need you to pick me up.
Right. Yeah.
Just that little bit, you know what I
More
mean? Not
involvement.
condoning it,
Yeah.
but, like, when in the moment, when it happens instead of after the fact, too.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that's something we always told ours was, you know, if you get in that, you know, shitty situation where you make a bad decision, you know, call
Call
us.
me.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care what time
Yeah.
it is, you know, I'm not going to say a word. We're not going to get mad. I mean, we'll deal with it at a later date and time,
Right.
you know, and have a conversation about it. But it was very much, you know, making sure that he knew, obviously we were there for him.
Right.
Much like you
So.
said, like, understanding the why.
Right.
Right.
Like, why did you feel the need to do that? And what do you feel afterwards? Like, I hate to be that person, but
No,
we
I
do
mean-
want to understand.
Right. And that's what I asked him, because he said he felt like terrible and he never wanted to do it again because he didn't like how he felt doing it and the aftermath. But
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, but why did you do it in the first place?
But that's something we were talking about, too, about our parents. That's not the response we would have gotten.
Mm-mm.
It would have been like, how dare you? You
Got your
messed
ass
up.
whooped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also what
Mhm.
we were talking about, is we came from a very different, the three of us did, a very different generation of where, like, you did that and you might as well kiss your life goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, if you think about it, like, you know my backstory, but like,
Sorry.
I wasn't that kid that would share those things with my parents. Like, I was 14, 15 years old and I was sneaking out. Like, I had full goatee. I was the same size as I am now. Like, and I lived close to Broad Ripple, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but it's kind of a bar area
Yeah.
city, you know, down in Indianapolis. And I grew up 10, 15-minute walk away from there. So I was sneaking out almost every night and going and drinking and being
Mhm.
stupid. My parents had no idea.
Yeah.
The only time they figured it out is when they caught me sneaking back in the house,
Yeah.
you know, one night at, 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, you know, the fact that, and the crazy thing is they always told me too, was very much a call us, you know, if you ever get in that kind of situation and those types of things. But it just never really registered with me because I never really felt like that would be the case. I never really
Right.
felt like I would truly get that. Okay, yeah, you fucked up. We'll talk about it later. You know, I got your back.
Right.
It would have been very much a what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and flip out rather than their actions would have been very different from what they were portraying. And
Mhm.
that was always the vibe that I got growing up. So that's why I just kind of was like, oh, bye-bye.
Well,
Yeah.
peer pressure, I think, too, is
Beer
taking-
pressure?
Peer
Oh, peer pressure.
peer pressure is also taken more into account too nowadays, where it was not when we were kids. Like,
Yeah.
if your friend jumps off a bridge, are you gonna go too? Well, I don't know.
My response was always, yep.
I don't know. Maybe
I was that kid. I
Right,
was like, yep,
right.
I'll jump.
I finally said, I don't know. I
Right.
might go. Who knows? But you know, like, I feel like just the whole perspective was so much different when
Yeah.
we were their age.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
With my mom, like, I really didn't have to hide anything I was doing because usually she wanted me to do it with her.
Yeah.
She wanted to be my friend. Until it came time, if I didn't disagree or if I didn't agree with her or wanted to do something that she didn't want me to do, then she wanted to be my mom and tell me what to do.
Yeah.
That was
But when it-
probably super hard to flip back and forth.
Oh yeah, and but yeah, everything that I did the first time I did it was with her.
That's interesting.
And that's a completely different dynamic as well, because you've learned at a very young age, like the pitfalls and the, everything that comes along with, making those adult mistakes
Mhm.
and whatnot. You have that kind of example. I don't necessarily want to say mistakes, but you have the examples of what's going on
Yeah.
in front of you as you move into adulthood.
Literally, you have a situation and a consequence story that is legit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about that is it'll actually benefit somebody eventually.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So yeah.
Adulting is hard.
Mhm.
Parenting is harder.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a journey. Like it's one that it doesn't matter if you prepare for it, if you don't prepare for it. Like it's a
It's
curveball.
hard, yeah.
Like, because here, I mean, when we first got together, obviously, I didn't have any kids of my own,
right.
and I became a step parent overnight,
Right.
and I had to learn that shit lickety split.
And he
Like-
did great.
Like, I had to figure it out. And oddly enough, I was the one that when you and I first met, like, you were, for the most part, like calm and collected, and I was much more of I had a temper.
You were more of a hothead.
Yeah, I had a hot head. But the interesting part was, as we kind of started to parent and do all those other things, I ended up being the more like calm and reserved one when it came to things.
Well, what had happened was
What had happened?
we realized if we flipped the script, it freaked him out even more.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that
That's
too.
really what it was. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
And so what happened one day is all of a sudden we flipped it around and I was the calm one. And that really threw him for a loop.
Well, that scared the shit out of him.
It scared the shit out of all of you, let's be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Keep them on their toes.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, kid gonna die today.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, I've never heard him whisper more in my life as he did to my, the responses to my questions that day.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Just something flipped in me, and I was like, I'm clearly not getting through, obviously, I never wanted to be the yeller anyway.
Mhm.
I worked really hard not to be that person. Don't get me wrong, I had my moments, obviously.
Mhm.
We all do.
Yep.
But I worked really hard because I grew up in that situation, which, again, God love my parents, we're all just doing the best we can
Mhm.
Yeah.
with what we got.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, most of us live life Lexapro or Prozac again. I don't care. Anyway, but I don't even know what I was talking about now. Shit. Squirrel.
Not being the one that yells and being
Oh,
the
yeah,
more balanced.
Really
disciplined.
working on that.
Yeah.
But I really tried to. It wasn't obviously getting through to him at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I really needed to figure it out. And at that time, it was more so Tim and you who could get through to him more. So I'm like, well, I'm going to take a cue from them, drop my tone about a whole octave,
Yep.
and just very monotone, which is not like me, started rattling off questions. I've never seen him so scared in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I think I heard Jason's butthole clench.
Yeah. No, it was a. Yeah.
But yeah, parenting is it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
No.
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 It's been a summer.
Yeah, it's been a summer to remember, eh?
Yeah. But then he came by today. He's not with me this week, but he came by today and just threw himself in my bed and laid there and talked to me for a few and
And then it just sparkles that little glimmer of hope, oh, there he is.
right.
And then it goes away just as quickly as it came.
Yeah, but the goal is to have them grow and keep that with them as they grow.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, and he may get a little mad at me for saying this, but there was a period of time where ours had kind of lost that, and we didn't really see that very often. It just kind of, he turned to doing what he wanted to do and focusing on what he wanted to do. But we had always tried to instill in him to be that good person and to be
Yeah.
that loving person and,
Right.
and to care. And now as he started to grow older, and mature more and have more life experience, that side of him is coming back. So
Right.
it shows me, it shows us that
Mhm.
obviously we did something right.
Right.
You know?
Well, and there's that little glimmer of, I always see that tiny little glimmer of, I don't know what else to call it, but like the child
yeah.
too, which is super important to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think we all three have had that conversation. Like I still have that, quite obviously. I'm 12 on the
Oh, yeah.
inside. I tell
Yeah.
everybody I love sprinkles. But I'll see that in our man and our man child every now and again too, with that grown up side. And I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I did do a little bit something right. Yay.
Right. Right.
And it sounds like that's what your man child has too. Like
Yeah.
coming in and sitting there like pillow talk.
Yeah.
Give me the tea, mom. Herbal and verbal.
Yep. And he gives me the tea too.
Yeah, I know he does. And I know you give him the tea too.
I do. I do. But I want, as my relationships with the kids are evolving and I'm, stepping out of the having, just different parenting role.
Yeah. It changes.
And as they are
things.
getting older and they're making their own decisions about how they spend their time and leaving and, having their own lives, I want to be someone that they want to hang out with.
Right.
And talk to and be a
Right.
resource for.
Right.
Yeah, that's super important to me too. And I think that also comes not only from our generation, but also our childhood too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that was not always available to us at all times,
Mhm.
if you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, okay, I'm not trying to cut you off, but I do want to go into something a little more on the sunny side. Let's talk about Snoop in the Olympics, okay? I can't help myself. First of all, for those of you who do not know this,
We are seriously deviating here, but that's okay.
not on my sheet. Ha ha ha. I wrote
You
it down.
just wrote it in.
I did earlier, didn't I?
I'm here for it.
Okay.
She saw
All right,
me.
Bring it. Bring
Okay,
it.
hold on. I gotta get situated.
All right, get set up.
Okay, listen. For those of you who don't know, I seriously have been obsessed with Snoop since I was a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And a lot of that is the music that I would have liked to have listened to was extremely frowned upon in my household. So it wasn't until I got out on my own that I got a whole music education, shall we say.
Mhm.
Ooh. Outside of the oldies that I was allowed to listen to, Gold 104.5.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's really aging me, I'm just saying.
Or 104.9.
Oh, yeah. Delilah. Anyway.
I remember the smooth jazz station that Indianapolis used to have.
I
Uh-huh.
hate jazz for that very reason.
Yeah.
What was it, like 107.9 or something
Yep.
like that? Yeah.
Okay, so listen. I am obsessed with him.
Mhm.
Back when Instagram first came out and him and Martha Stewart legit became friends, I don't know how old I was. I would say the man child was roughly 4 years old at that time. If that gives you a time frame.
Yeah.
Anyway, I tweeted, or I think it was on Instagram. I don't really even know. I don't know. It was on Instagram. I commented on one of his pictures. And I was like, hey, if you're ever looking for a new white best friend, we could be best friends. I don't know, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then my hashtag was I'm cooler than Martha. And I'll never forget he liked it. He liked it. I died. That was my single claim to
Oh,
fame
yeah.
right there.
Oh, yeah.
That was the height of my life right there. That he like double whoever. It
Well, and here's the thing. That was really back before,
was a big thing.
well, not only that, but that was back before people were managing celebrities' social medias.
Yeah.
So they were actually the ones that were dealing with
Yes.
the social medias.
'Cause-
So you can sleep well knowing that the Snoop D-O double G actually liked your
I
your
hope.
comment.
But here's my point, Uncle Snoop. Listen, my friend, you are the mascot that the United States didn't know we needed.
Yeah, he's an
Like
American
he's
treasure.
Uncle Snoop over there. He
Yeah, he
is a
is.
national treasure.
Yeah.
He was over there dancing on the sidelines by Simone Biles.
My favorite thing that I've seen from the Olympics is him unzipping his jacket with a T-shirt on that has
With her face.
on
I
it.
sent that
Yeah.
to you, I think.
Yes.
Well, no, I got one better.
Well, that's what I sent to you on TikTok, and it wouldn't open
Oh,
up.
yeah, which I had already seen because we talked about, yeah. Okay,
Stupid
so
TikTok.
listen.
Stupid TikTok.
I watched this thing. I didn't know this was a thing. Apparently, you get something along the lines of like lapel pins at the Olympic Village per each athlete or whatever. They
Mhm.
get so many or whatever, and you trade them with different athletes from different, other countries or whatever. Well, I guess Simone Biles went and got her own made, and she, like, people were trying to find her from other countries, like Iceland, to collect her pins. Well,
Mhm.
Snoop also had his own made that he was handing out. I wish I could show you a picture. It's him. Imagine him. It kind of looks a little like Michael Jackson with the red leather coat on. But he's puffing smoke. Imagine that in the air, and all the rings are the Olympic rings.
I love it.
And he
That's
was
awesome.
handing them out, and I was like, "You go, you
Right.
go, Uncle Snoop Double G."
That's what's up.
It's epic.
Yeah, that is.
Listen,
That is. Like,
if you
or
or
I'm not a big
anyone-
Olympics fan. I was when I was a kid, but like it makes me want to watch more
Jesus Christ, Lacey. This is why we can't have nice things.
with Snoop being
My
a part
hands
of
under
it.
the table.
She's not put my hands under the table. That's not creepy at all.
Yeah.
But listen, if you or anyone you know knows a connection to Snoop, you let him know that I will be his best friend. And I'm not crazy, and I'm not a serial killer, and it's completely fine.
And Snoop, hey, I'm gonna tag you in this. I'm gonna tag you in the post.
I doubt it'll like get lost in the shuffle, especially right now with the whole Olympics thing going on.
Oh, that's why I'll double tag it. It'll be Paris Olympics. # Paris Olympics.
Oh, here he goes.
and
He's that Justin Timberlake hashtag. You know the SNL skit or whatever it
Uh-huh.
was? That's him right there. My God.
hey,
he goes,
you know what? We can't hire a social media manager, so I got to do it.
He goes wild on them hashtags though.
Hey, it works.
It's true.
Gets us out there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
That's my Snoop dance.
That's your Snoop
Sorry.
dance.
I'm sorry for those of you listening and you can't see it.
And you know what? I'll even try and do one better. I'll try and find a picture of this pin to overlay on our video on this episode.
Listen, you want to
Yes.
hear a weird fact? I obviously did not double fact check this, so don't come for me. But I watched a video of him, and he said there's one country in the world that you're not allowed to go to and even have drugs in, like illegal drugs in your system, and it was Norway.
Really?
So I guess he had done a show there, and after the show, like they came on, they made him do a pee test.
Mhm.
Well, he was leaving the next day for other shows. Well, a year later, he just lands, and him and somebody from his team or his family were in a car. They get pulled over and arrested. And he's like, damn, I just got here 20 minutes ago. And they're like, well, the last time you were here, you tested dirty for drugs. And so
Like they didn't know who he is.
I know. I guess you're not even allowed to have it in your system. How is that even possible?
I don't
That's
know.
crazy.
That didn't come out right. You know what I mean? Like certain medications even
Right.
have pop positive on
Right.
drug tests. That's what I was thinking.
Well, I
along
mean,
those
yeah, I
lines.
mean, shit, eating a lemon poppy seed muffin or whatever.
Too much of one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that can pop in your system like crazy. So
Yeah, it's nuts. So I thought I'd share that weird fact with you.
Weird
Factoids.
facts.
I got all of them. All the life lessons you didn't know you needed.
You really do.
I'm like, Aunt Elissa, I'm a national treasure too, bitch. Speaking of national treasure, Brenda bullied me today.
What'd she do?
What'd she do now?
So I asked Lacey, I said, are you eating dinner with us? And I was like, I'm sorry. Would you like to have dinner with us? And so I was in there and trying to stir it because I had it on the stove, keeping it warm. Because, around here we just graze. We don't sit around and eat with
Right,
each other
yeah.
because,
Have this
that's weird.
Beautiful dining room table.
How
you know.
dare we do that?
No.
And so I was trying to, like, everything was not going my way earlier today. Like, everything I touched turned to shit, I feel like. So I was trying to stir it. I flung it all over myself, all over the white backsplash, in my hair. And Brenda's like, I go, shit, I flung sauce in my hair. And she's like, ha, 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 ha. And I was like, fuck you, Brenda.
God, I don't even get to make that kind of mess on you.
Ew. Not necessary, sir. Anyways.
I thought it was funny.
Anyways, I can't right now. I was like, you're a bitch. And she goes, I know. And I was like, I thought we were better than this, but clearly not. And then I did something else, and she was like, and I was like, why are you razzing me today? You were harassing me, mother.
She's on one.
Man, she was.
Yeah.
She must have not took her meds today.
Yeah, it's, she's just getting to that point. She's getting old and senile, and she's just getting angry.
And they don't care.
No, she don't give a fuck.
They don't care what comes out of their mouth.
Nope.
No filter at all.
Nope. She don't even care now.
I love it.
And she's not even fully senile yet.
Not yet, but wait.
There's more.
Wait, there's more. ShamWow. You remember that infomercial? And then he beat that girl up and it was ShamWow? God, that's terrible. I don't want to hear it from anybody.
You know what I remember from him wearing that stupid fucking headset and talking about ShamWow.
Yes.
Like spiked hair
Yes.
with a headset overlay.
And he had a crazy eye anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, look at the ShamWow.
Ew.
I think that everyone who did infomercials like that had some kind of a quirk on their
They
face.
were
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, Billy Mays. Cocaine.
Oh, for
He
sure.
died in a plane crash.
Did
No, he died of cocaine overdose.
Who
I-
died in a plane crash?
Hell, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the OxyClean guy. Like, he got way too clean on that cocaine.
A little bit of booger sugar.
That's some straight booger sugar.
I can't with you guys
Yeah.
right now at all.
He had 2 pots in front of him. One was OxyClean, one was cocaine.
He was like, it's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But either
Woo.
way, if I snort it, I'm gonna die.
Right?
I'm going to have a good time either way. Woo. Let's go to the quad.
Too soon?
I don't think so. I don't know. I am real hazy on years at this moment in my life.
I wonder if he got up to the pearly gates and he was like, do I smell so fresh and so clean? Like,
Oh my God. Jason, that was the worst dad joke I have heard come.
oh,
No, I already
yes.
told it to Lacey.
She
No,
did.
I gotta tell it. I gotta tell it though.
Oh my. Ugh.
I gotta tell it
You
though.
guys-
For everybody else.
I'm so sorry about this. Go ahead. Let
it's
her rip.
amazing.
Let her rip.
It's amazing. What happens if you put your hand up a gypsy's vagina when they're on their period? Anybody?
No, tell us.
Anybody? You get your palm red.
You're so nasty.
I know, but it's funny.
He's
it's
like,
a-
I know, but it's funny.
It's a great dad joke.
That's not a dad joke. That's like a creepy uncle that hugs too long joke. I'm not gonna lie to you, honey. Like, I hate to hurt your feelings like that, but it's true.
We know that's not you.
That's not you, so we're gonna let that one slide.
Listen, this is like Planet Fitness. This is a judgment-free zone, okay?
It was up until that moment right there, and then we went, boo, boo, boo. It tumbled right on over. And a banana peel. Oh my God, last night I thought that bugle was a banana peel. What is up with me being obsessed?
You had bugles last night?
Yeah, so.
I haven't had bugles since I was like 18 years old.
What had happened was
Children.
my stomach was upset
Yeah.
from eating too much cheese. I believe I have hit that age.
Huh.
Shut up, Jason.
So now that's off the diet. No ice cream.
Nope, no dairy.
No cheese.
No cheese.
They're taking my will to live.
No, you just need to take some Lactaid before you eat it.
Ugh. So anyway, I sent Lacey an SOS and I was like, are you bringing snacks? She was like, no, I don't have any. I was like, okay, look, very strict instructions. I'm going to Venmo you some money. I need you to get something salty and crunchy, for 1. 2, something sweet. And 3, a drink. She was like, Red Bull? I'm like, bet. You know me too well. Bitch shows up with my favorite Red Bull. Knows me so well. She not only got me, what was that? Honey barbecue Chex Mix,
Mm-hmm.
which was good.
Yeah.
But
I'll-
she got me Hidden Valley Ranch Bugles.
What the fuck?
They're
And
so good.
one looked like a banana peel and it cracked me up. And then I said it was the sorting hat. And then I put it on my middle finger and flipped her off. It was
Yeah,
hilarious.
I was getting gowned up to go into a room, and she's like, "Look."
And she goes,
I put you in House Fucklepuff.
I didn't
Yes.
say that. I didn't say that.
Did you say that verbatim?
I did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you've been around me way too long.
Wow, you
It's too late for you.
You can tell we're married.
So anyway, we were over there when we were talking about Tinder.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, the Tinder conversation got started, and I always wait just silently.
So who's on Tinder? Who are we talking about?
I don't know. A couple of the nurses are. Okay, one, and I'm not gonna point her out.
Yeah. No.
But one I know is on Tinder, and
Yeah.
she was like, "Look, I think Tinder does get a bad rep, but there are a lot of people on there that are just there for a hookup." And I'm like,
Right.
I always just silently wait and going for the kill. And I'm like, that's how I met my husband of 9 years. And they're like, what? And I'm like, no, seriously, I really did. And I always think it's funny.
And then you're like,
because-
story time.
yeah, I almost got kidnapped by an Amish man. Story time. Anyway, for another day. Anyway, yeah, I always like to whip that out in conversation. It makes me giggle, makes them giggle, whatever. But we were talking about that. But God, wow, I really went off topic. Where were we?
Tinder.
No, the Ranch Bugles.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Ranch Bugles.
She showed up with my favorite nerds candy.
Oh, and we got even more.
Yeah. And she brought me my favorite Red Bull.
Yeah.
She understood the assignment.
Yeah.
I said, did you go over my... I sent her a text. I said, I Venmo'd you $15. Keep the change, you filthy animal. She goes, well, thanks. So she got there. I go, did you go over our budget? She's like, no. I'm like, good. And we enjoyed our snacks the rest of the evening.
Yep.
So when you texted me last night and said you were excited because Lacey was bringing snacks,
That's what I meant.
that's what you meant. You instructed her to bring snacks.
I was like, look, this is what I need.
I mean, hey,
Hey, look,
Whatever
but
works.
in her defense, she did drive. She did drive technically through a nadir to get there and drenched out in the downpouring rain to go into the gas station to get me said snacks. So
Oh no, I parked under the
the
cover.
awning or
Yeah.
whatever.
I parked under
But
the.
she was soaked when she
Not when I
got
got
in
to
from
work.
work.
oh, I'm sure. Yeah, because that parking lot's a trek.
Yeah, and I walked in and one of the
She said-
coworkers. He goes, "Oh, can I help? Can I do anything? I mean, I feel like I need to get you a towel." I'm like, "I'm fine."
I did offer to go get her a hairdryer. I was being
She
dead
did.
ass serious.
I'm like, "No,
I've done it before.
I'll start running around this place and I'll dry."
And you did until your knee pits didn't dry all the way.
That's such a weird sensation when the back of your knee.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this weird thing happens when you work in healthcare. Sometimes you sweat in your knee pits, okay?
It's true.
When they're already a little, I hate to say this, moist.
Moister than an oyster.
They don't quite dry out sometimes, you know what I mean? And it got busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throw some baby powder on. Just
We did. It's fine.
yeah.
It's fine. This is fine. I don't know if she did or not. I did on mine.
I did not.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
So she just rocked the sweaty wet pits.
I guess. I don't know. I
Moist-
didn't get
moist
that.
knee pits.
I didn't get that close.
Short for oyster pits.
Ew, this escalated quickly. Okay, stop.
Do we need to talk about belly button lint?
No. What? No. I will refuse. Is that the end of that? Are we done now, sir?
No, we're not done. God. So we have to stick to the segment that we started. The Am I the Asshole?
That was a
segment.
lazy idea.
That was, and we've carried it. This is now the second episode that we're carrying. it.
Nice.
So-
I love these.
Yeah. So we've got two to pick from.
Uh-huh.
You pick which one. Do you want to do the one about our asshole dogs?
Well, I wasn't going to tell everybody they were ours. I was just,
Well, I mean,
You
they're-
tell the story.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
either
the one I
those-
pick. That's the one I pick.
You don't want to talk about the other one?
No, because I'm really upset. So
Oh.
carry on.
You're
I wanna
really
see the other
upset.
one.
Oh, okay. Lacey wants to see the other one. Hold on.
Okay, yeah. We're getting some crowd input here. See, I like the second one.
I like that one too.
Okay, then we'll do that one.
Outvoted.
Oh, it's I
think-
podcast.
I think people already know that your dogs are the assholes.
Yeah. Like if they
That's
know us,
fair.
yeah, they know our dogs are
That's
assholes.
fair. But they ripped out a freaking dead bush and then tore it and then they flung it in the air and acted like it was a toy.
Multiples.
I mean, they saved you from having to do it.
Well, first of all, how did they get that bad, honey?
Well, they just died. I mean, that's how they got that bad. I mean, I nurtured them for 6 months, and then they just
And they're
decided to
like,
go.
you will die.
Right.
Yeah, it's our time. DC to JC. You know?
It was time
Yeah.
for mom.
Yeah, it was time.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
All right, so this one is: am I the asshole for telling a parent that their kid is weird when they pushed as to why my kid did not want to be their friend? Do you want me to give backstory, or you want to give opinion on it
No, I
first?
want you to read it.
Let's hear
Okay.
the backstory.
So basically, they're saying that after a play date, essentially, the other parent had messaged and asked whether they could do it again. And the original parent said, "Hey, you know what, I don't think our children mesh well, the girls mesh well, and we're going to have to decline." Well, the other one pushed and called and said, "Hey, what do you mean?" And then the original parent said, "Hey, you know, my kid isn't interested in hanging out since they don't mesh well together, trying to be polite about it."
Right.
And I guess this went on for a while. You know, she tried to push to say the kids need to be around each other more. And then eventually I just told her, no, I don't want to do that. And she pushed to, well, can I talk to your husband about it? And then that's when she basically lost it and said,
Red flag.
no, I was trying to be polite, but your kid is weird. My kid is uncomfortable, and I don't know what's up with you, but my kid doesn't want to hang out.
Right.
So, is she the asshole for calling that out?
No.
No.
Why?
Absolutely not.
Well, first of all, she attempted to be the bigger person and be an adult about it and just kind of like take a step back,
Mhm.
which I can appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the other lady didn't stop and then when I thought, oh, I'm going to go above her head like a fucking Karen manager
Right.
to her husband, which is weird.
I need to talk to your husband.
Like, that's what would have done it for me anyway.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't have wanted anything to do with them, period, at that point.
Right.
Because that's just weird.
For me, no is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You don't want to go out with me? You don't want our kids to hang out? Okay.
Sure.
Fine. I'm not going to keep pushing for someone to be friends with my child that doesn't want to be.
Right.
Like,
That's weird.
that is weird.
You wouldn't beg your own friends to be friends
Right.
with you. Why would you beg your kids as friends?
Right. And then also, I don't like when people do that either. Like, when I say that I don't want to go do something or I don't want something, like, take that for what it is. It means no.
Yeah.
And you're not going to talk me into it.
Yeah.
I'm still going to try.
Well, but the funny thing is, like,
That's just me as a person.
you flat out are like, you will be my friend. You have no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't
But I
really
also-
give her the luxury.
But I also am lucky that I have been in the situation where I said I'm not talking about something
Mhm.
and people know. Like, okay. It's very rare I get stern and serious, so that's my when they're like, "Oh, okay."
And they just kind of awkwardly back up, like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. But that here's the thing. I'm a big believer in your intuition.
Mhm.
Like, always listen to your gut instinct. You're never wrong. You are
Yeah.
never wrong. If anything, you just saved yourself from something. That I will always believe in that 120%. And so if your kid who's already innocent is saying something's not right,
Right.
then it's not right.
Exactly.
Like, I take that for what it is. Even being the other parent, like, I would have been adult enough to be like, okay, like, that's fair.
Right. And I'm the parent that I want, like, I will respect the kids' boundaries.
Right.
If you don't want to go do this, then you don't have to. Or you don't want to hang out with this person, you don't have to.
Right.
And I've always tried to be like that with them.
I wasn't with, I was like my parents. I forced him,
It's fine. I'll edit it.
I always forced the man child to hug everybody
Mm-hmm.
like I was. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? But it wasn't until way later did I understand that,
Right.
if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and with my daughter, like, if she doesn't want to do something, she just simply won't. She's been like that since she.
That's her. In a
That's just
nutshell.
her.
Yeah.
As long as I can remember, it's been like that. But so if she didn't want to hug somebody, she wasn't going to do it. If she didn't want to, I mean, just simply if she didn't want to do it, didn't want to wear something, whatever, she just didn't.
Yeah.
She's very big on like, I don't want to, I'm not going to.
Now, see, I was forced. Like, no offense to my mom, but like,
Oh, I was too.
if she bought me an outfit and I didn't like the texture, because obviously now being ADHD
Yeah.
and possibly on the autism spectrum, like it all makes sense now. Like I'm super sensitive to fabrics and
Mhm.
textures. So I didn't like jeans rubbing my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll never forget, it was kindergarten, I think, or first grade, one of the two. She bought me a peplum top with like the spatters on it. It was like light pink, I'll never forget. And it looked like it had paint spatters on it.
Yep, I had jeans
And
like
I
that.
wore it tucked into my jeans because I didn't want the jeans to touch my skin. And
Yeah.
she lost her ever loving mind and made sure that on the retake, I didn't tuck that shirt in.
Mhm.
I'll never wear it again, though.
Yeah.
I was a weirdo. Still am.
Yeah.
I'm weird about textures. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Part of one of the reasons I love you. You're just a weirdo like me.
Gosh, I really am.
So I will put that as a unanimous no, she is not the asshole.
No.
Yep.
So, no,
Mark that in our books with our sidebars and all.
with our sidebars and all. So I do want to touch on one other thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay. This is
Oh, God.
conspiracy theories because we started this.
Oh, my gosh. He has some of the weirdest things on here.
Okay. So we have kind of an easy one and kind of an in-depth one.
Okay.
Which would you rather?
An easy one. My mind's not there.
Okay.
I put a lot into this episode.
All right, so I'll give you an easy one,
Okay.
all right? So there is a conspiracy theory out there that says that Prince Charles of the royal family is a vampire. I know, odd as it may sound.
The Volturi.
The Prince of Wales is actually directly related to Vlad the Impaler through all the different marriages and all that other stuff over time.
Bunch of inbreeders.
Well, well, not really if he's related to Vlad the Impaler, because that's a completely different.
Yeah, but eventually. Trust me.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, look at their
I
faces.
watch enough documentaries.
Yeah. But the big thing is that they say is Prince Charles's bloodline was known to have the disease. I'm probably going to say this wrong. Porphyria, Porphyria, which is an iron deficiency that causes people to be sensitive to sunlight.
Huh.
So a lot of interesting little circumstance there.
That's the same thing as being anemic. I mean, essentially.
I mean, being in the medical profession, both of you, I mean,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, there are so many things. Well, first of all, I call bullshit. Because if he was a vampire, he wouldn't be puffed up like the Marshmallow Man right now. That pinky ring was screaming. Did you see it? Just little sausages hanging off that ring. Just go
True.
back. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He's so swollen because he's got to have some kind of heart issue because he's not perfusing. Okay. Wow. Anyway, he's puffy and swollen. He's probably got a heart issue and retaining water.
Right.
Well, he wears a pinky ring that I think is their like family insignia cross
Well, I
situation.
thought, didn't he get diagnosed with cancer or something
Mhm.
like? Yeah.
Yeah, but he also had multiple, I think, heart issues prior to that.
Yeah.
But his fingers are so swollen that it looked like a twist tie on like the bread, like just poof, like it was poofed up on either side of the ring, is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
Like just giant. So I'm just saying, if he was a vampire, let's be honest, he would look amazing.
Right.
As far as like the whole anemic thing, like obviously it's possible.
Well, and I mean, how much sunlight do they get?
Yeah, I don't
You know?
think they have a ton of sunny days in the UK.
I think they only get like 80 truly sunny days or something like that.
So they
Crazy.
probably are like already vitamin D deficient and anemic and all that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's I think why they eat a lot of. They do eat a lot of organs over there.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's probably why.
They eat organs.
Yeah.
Like lambs. Oh my god!
That leads more into them being vampires.
I can't with you.
They're eating organs instead of human beings.
What is that meal that they have that's like in a sheep stomach?
It's not mincemeat pie, is
No.
it?
No. Is it haggis?
That's
might-
a sausage. Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, I'd have to. I can't remember, but I think it might be haggis.
Yeah, we know
Mm.
what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
they eat that kind of stuff. Where
Yeah.
we don't so much here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe liver and onions every once
But it's
in
a
a while.
it's a cultural
You know,
thing for sure.
When I was pregnant, the first time I was extremely anemic, and I craved things like liver and onions,
See,
and
I was
chicken
anemic.
livers and stuff like that.
I was
Hmm.
anemic with the man child, but I ate ice.
Me too.
That's what I did all the time.
All the
and
time.
I crave steak, like red
Me
meat.
too. Well, Hannah and I went to Roadhouse last week, and I told her that I would go to Roadhouse when I was pregnant with her at least twice a week for a steak.
Yeah, I like steak. What can I say?
Like the beef.
I like the beef. That
so,
was
and,
weird.
And I should probably correct myself. I should probably not call him Prince Charles. He is actually King Charles.
No,
Technically,
Now,
yeah.
yeah,
That's
so,
weird, though.
Out of respect. You
That
know.
does
That
feel
that
weird.
Sounds weird.
It does, but I mean, let's be honest. He probably won't be around much longer, honestly. As much as I hate to say that,
Yeah.
you know, he waited all that time to get to where he's
Yeah,
at now.
I
to-
definitely think she did him a disservice to not be there while he was ruling. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
be a mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like she did him and that country a disservice to not do that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree because there was definitely, from what you could see from the outside looking in, there was a rift in that, you know,
A big one.
like, yes, he was the succession, but at the same time, like,
He wasn't her chosen one.
right. And knowing that he was the succession, why wouldn't you have brought him more into the fold?
Right.
It seemed like,
Yeah.
you know, to try and make, you know, not necessarily make him in her image, but, you know, to teach him some of the learned lessons that she had all those years. So.
Right.
Yeah. I think he spent a lot of years dicking around, for lack of better words, because I don't think he ever thought
mean,
he would
literally.
be king. Yeah.
Literally.
I don't think he thought he would ever be king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what that would be like because I'm not royalty. I mean, maybe in my Delulu mind I am, but I'm definitely not.
Hey, maybe somewhere deep down the bloodline, you never know.
Way deep down. Anyway,
So, all right. Well, so I'm going to put that as debunked. We don't think that's a good conspiracy theory.
yep. Yep.
Okay.
We don't like that one.
King
No,
Charles,
thank you.
No, not a vampire.
He's writing that on his sheet.
Yes.
No.
I like to keep notes. So
As
that-
a mental memo, no.
well, I don't want to ever have us repeat stuff.
No, thank you. Oh, I feel like you have to say thank on that one because it's British. Get it? Because I got that from Adele.
No, thank you.
So, ladies and gents, the funny thing about that is when I get in high stress situations, apparently I suddenly turn British.
Right.
She does.
And I said, no, thank you.
Instead of no thank you.
So
yeah.
it's just kind of stuck. No,
Just kinda
thank
stuck.
you.
No, thank you.
So
So on that note, we are going to wrap up.
That's it?
It is that time. Yeah, we've actually
Wow.
gone long tonight.
Well,
So, but
go long. Hey
but-
guys, but we seriously appreciate it. I've gotten so many text, emails, Facebook messages about a podcast that we had released a few days ago, a few weeks ago, I mean.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'll take anything, any input, anything you want to say, anything you want to talk about, whatever. If you want to come on, that's cool. Let me know. I'm here for it. I love all the stories and the text. Again, Lacey, I'm so glad you came again.
I know, like we're getting a group of regulars going, and it's
Yeah.
nice to kind of have this like
I love it.
consortium of people that kind of come
Because
around.
it's like a continuous conversation of sorts.
Yeah.
And I
Right,
enjoy it very
right.
much.
Yeah, I have a great time whenever I come.
yeah,
It was
and
a really
and
spur
you're
of
no
the
longer worried
moment.
about the cameras anymore, are you?
Not at all.
Yeah, see?
I talked her into this at like 2 a.m., by the way.
She did.
Yeah.
She goes, I said, you work every day that I don't this week. She said, I don't work tonight. I was like, oh, okay. She said, so you need to come over and be on the pod. I was
She's like, okay.
okay.
Yeah, why not?
So that's how I get her over here.
Gotta have a good time. But I will say thank you, Lacey, for coming on again.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
And, you know, people check out the YouTube channel, the videos that we're releasing, all the fun content. We're trying to do some shorts on Facebook and just little sneak peeks and clips and stuff like that. So yeah, just interact with us on the socials. That's been getting a little bit more
Traction.
yeah, and you know, people are starting to reach out more and comment more and,
Yeah.
and engage with us, and we love that. You know, we try and communicate really well, and
We even got spam.
I know we got
I was even excited
spam.
about that.
Yeah, please try this micro dosing.
Yeah, I was like,
oh
what
my
the
god.
Hell is this?
Like, it's crazy. We have been victims of spam. We have gotten somewhere. We have grown.
In our own Delulu minds, we have made it. We've gotten spammed.
We have grown. So, all right. On that note,
Bye.
bye.
We out.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Make sure to share and like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Adventures of E, and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@Adventures of E. See you next time.